Who is
No
it this
sleeping.
week? You?
It's this bitch. I have notes. I have a summary typed up. I forget how funny I made it. It's probably not, because this episode isn't very funny.
No.
All right, jumping in. Hello, this is... Oh, fuck me.
No, you know what? Actually,
I don't remember how this works.
It is kind of funny.
Let me think how the episode usually starts.
Like this now.
Hola!
Shit. Hello, welcome. This is another episode of A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek watching podcast. This week we are on episode number 396.
Damn.
Woo.
Which makes me assume that I know how to do these by now, but
Nah.
Jesus fucking Christ. In episode 396,
Wait.
Let me? Shut up.
Oh my god.
I thought you were going to pull a me and skip over introducing
I was
us.
literally doing that.
No,
right
I realized
now.
that's why I stopped.
My God.
Wow.
Chris is in a mood today.
Ames can't even fucking not get interrupted when she's introing the fucking thing. Like, none of us have any cause to be speaking right now, and Ames still can't get a word out.
So, after 396 episodes, you know that I'm always getting interrupted because I'm Ames.
And I'm usually telling dick jokes because I'm Caitlin.
And I'm Jake!
And I'm Chris's son from the future who's somehow an adult.
It explains Alexander.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Alexander was not exposed to time crystals.
Was made of time.
So, this is the episode of Discovery through the Valley of Shadows. And through the Valley of Shadows, there's another one of these fucking red signals at Borath, which we'll remember is that site of the Klingon monastery from TNG's rightful heir, which is the one with clone Kahless, but none of that's important.
Oh, I thought Borath was my wife.
No. So we phoned up Laurel, because she's still bouncing around somewhere. Very easily, because I guess you can just call up the Klingons when you want. And she takes a day off of chancelloring to drop by, also very easily.
And show off her sick new hairdo.
She had that before, I thought.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, so she says hi to Ash, and turns out Borath is where they're hiding their secret love baby. So really, like, neither of them can go down there because it would be fucking awkward. And Pike says, okay, I'll go. And maybe they'll give me a time crystal, because I'm so nice. Good luck with that, Pike.
And so handsome.
He'll do great. Meanwhile, we learn that a Section 31 ship has failed to check in on time, which is super suspicious. So Michael, of all people, and not Tyler, who's busy, chatting with Laurel for reasons, decides to go check it out on her own for reasons. And Spock tags along, because road trip.
Hey, the reason is because Saru said she could,
But on her own... God damn it, I hate these people. They're so stupid. Meanwhile, Pike drops by Borath and talks to their head timekeeper, Tanavik, who turns out, is Laurel and Ash's baby. All grown up. He grew faster than Alexander, and it's all stupid. So this Klingon soap opera just continues to get juicier and juicier, and I'm fucking done with it. And Tanavik's like, hey, Pike, we'll give you a time crystal, but you won't like what you have to do to get it.
Yeah.
And Pike's like, let me be the judge of that.
He was hoping it was butt stuff.
Damn it.
I know.
Meanwhile, Burnham and Spock have found the Section 31 ship, and whoops, its whole crew got spaced.
Oh my god.
Except for this one guy that Michael finds, who managed to jump in a spacesuit first, smart, and survived. And holy crap, it's Cameron Gant!
Oh,
Everyone?
our favorite character.
No, but he had some lines, didn't he? Was he actually there on the
I
show,
doubt
or did we
it.
never see
He
him?
was actually
Was
there.
he? Holy
Okay,
shit.
They did, the actor must have not been doing anything this day, because they picked him up and said, hey, you're going to come be on this episode. Because he was in Battle at the Binary Stars. So
Wow.
We all remember him so fondly, right?
He was my favorite one. I had a little shrine for him.
Yeah, but Michael remembers this guy at the very least. And I guess we're going to go figure out this Section 31 thing for reasons. Meanwhile, back on Pike Land, he gets to go and see a time crystal, and the thing he has to do to get the time crystal to work is basically play MASH. Do y'all remember MASH?
Yeah.
Yes.
Mansion, apartment, shack, or house.
Yeah, it's the one. So you draw the circles.
Am
you
I
determine
gonna marry Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt or George Clooney? I never picked those people.
All
I just
of
couldn't
the
think of any
above.
other names.
Oh, no.
Apparently, they're all hoes.
I was about to say, the closest thing to a good option is maybe
Brad
Clooney?
Pitt. No, what's wrong with? Oh,
I don't know what
He's
this
kind of-
is.
anyway.
Okay, to explain
I
it.
thought,
Okay.
I thought MASH was. I thought you were going to say Suicide is Painless, which is what Pike was hoping for.
No, so what? Okay, so to explain to people who never was like a girl in the 90s, a young girl in the 90s. MASH was a game that you played at slumber parties or just around.
Or at lunch. It was
or
a
just
good
on
lunch
the
activity.
recess ground.
Yep.
Where you would write down the names of. The way I played it was where you're gonna live, so either mansion, apartment, shack, or house. Yep. You write in a bunch of potential spouses for future you.
Yep.
You write in like what your dream job in the future might be.
Yep. How many kids?
I don't remember. I don't think I did how many kids.
We did kids.
There was another thing, I forget what it was, and
Type of car, maybe.
Yeah, car. I think is what it was.
Lots of different shit.
car.
But you could also. But I mean, like, here's the thing. It doesn't have a ton of rules. Like, it's like. It is like the weakest kind of fortune telling. So like you could literally be like, what exotic pet am I gonna have? Which small country will I be the captain regent of? Like, like you could do anything really, but it was usually about relationships and like your future adulthood.
like gossipy.
How many times a week will I cry myself to sleep because existence is terrible?
Every.
Oh no, 7?
So then you draw a bunch of circles, and by the time you're done drawing circles, someone says stop, or you just stop. I forget how that worked.
We used to do hash marks, I think.
Oh, we did circles.
Yeah, circles are good too.
And then you count how many circles, and then you count through your options until you're left with only one of each option, and that's your future.
So if you said like the number 4, for example, you would strike a line through every 4th thing until there was only one thing in a given category, and that thing would become...
Yeah, and for Pike, this is what's going to actually happen, because if you take the time crystal, whatever you see is going to be what actually happens, so he's going to marry George Clooney. Pike touches the crystal to see his future with George Clooney, and he sees his face getting delta radiated, and he sees himself confined to the beepy chair, and he sees the horrible things George Clooney and he will get into, and he's fucking horrified by this.
Rightly so.
But
that's because the CG is so bad.
It's interesting. I mean, that's fun. But he also knows the alternate is that all sentient life in the universe is lost.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a tough choice. What do you go with? If you're Captain Pike. Anyway, he picks getting irradiated, and he takes a time crystal home with him. Back on Section 31 ship, Burnham and
Spaceball 2.
Gant.
Damn it, I was about to say that.
Yeah, why does it look like a fucking stealth bomber? That threw me off. Anyway.
Oh, it really does. You're right.
It really fucking did. It was too on the nose. So Burnham and Gant and Spock are trying to partition control into this tiger trap.
And something bad happens.
Well, no, we figure out that Gant is... Something bad does happen.
Yeah.
He's possessed by control the same way Leland was.
No.
This whole thing, fuck my life, was an absolutely ludicrous lure to get Burnham here. Because as we all know...
Michael Burnham is the most important person in the universe.
You could have literally read that from my notes, because Jesus Christ, that's what they determined. But Spock is out here, and despite having a shattered fucking arm, magnetizes all the control-y bits to the floor, and then they get the fuck out. And everyone meets back up on Discovery, where a whole bunch of Section 31 ships are amassing, and finally, we decide to self-destruct the ship.
Yay!
But that's going to be next week. For now, the end.
Oh my god.
Janeway would be so proud if she was alive.
I was so glad that they finally brought that up as even an option.
Yeah, I forgot, because I know we were bitching about it last week. I forgot they did finally actually suggest it.
Do they actually? I don't remember anything about this show.
I mean, there's 3 more seasons, and no, the spoilers, they do not blow up Discovery.
I wouldn't have thought so. I don't know how they would. Like, I was like, don't they get...
They get a new one.
I don't remember what stops them. I imagine, like I suggested last week,
it's gonna be Michael Burnham.
Control just shuts it down.
Or again, the sphere data itself probably is like, no.
Oh, right, because it, like, protects itself. They actually said that.
Fly into a sun.
Maybe they've said it before, but they definitely said it this week.
And again, I've seen the episode, but I genuinely don't remember what actually prevents them. But yes,
that's next week.
Well, now that Pike has literal plot armor.
Yeah, and knows it.
He knows that he can't. The only way he can die is in this. He doesn't even die. He ends up in the chair.
It's like Arthur Dent in Stavromula Beta or whatever.
Yeah,
like the
I
audience,
haven't been there yet.
The audience has known that he's he has plot
Yeah.
armor, but now he knows he has plot armor.
Which, it's interesting, because we've talked about this before, that sometimes it feels like these characters know, but now we actually do have one that knows.
Yeah.
I like that he comes away from his experience from the temple like all enlightened. Like he's suddenly talking like a girl who went to fucking Cancun over spring break and is like, I was out in Mexico. He's like, he was meant to be there. We were meant to meet. Everything is how it should be. It's like, shut the fuck up, Pike.
I think it's because before he met with them, he had a lot of sorry and brandy. He's actually just shit mixed right now because he is so fucked up.
Well, I'm glad at least that Pike got something to do. Like, he hasn't had much to do lately, so this is nice.
And it felt leadership-y to say, like, you know, I think that was a good line he said. He said, the alternative is worse, when Doyle's telling him, like, you're going to have to make a sacrifice if you go down there. And he's like, well, best, you know, the needs of the many kind of bullshit.
Yeah.
I will do it. It's good on him.
I remember, you know, when this first aired years ago, being like, really... like, the choice they made to have it, like, Pike knows where he's gonna end up, kind of, was really... I still think it's a really interesting idea to have it be, like, he kind of willingly did that. Not knowing that he would get, you know, a Telosian 4 retirement home.
True.
Like, as far as he knew, he was just gonna be BB chaired till he died.
BB chair.
I mean, he still was, but...
Pee-pee chair. I'm thinking of some fetish thing.
They made it...
that, too.
They make it so much worse, too. Like, the labored breathing noises coming from it. Like, it really just drives home how fucked up he is in there.
Yeah, like, he is in agony the whole time, too. Which makes sense why he can only beep and can't, like, do anything else.
Yeah, because, you know, especially now, like, in the 60s, it was like, yeah, sure. Like, he's all fucked up and in the chair. But now... thanks to sort of retcons and 23rd century tech being better than it was originally.
Yeah, we
like,
saved Arium. We just put her in a mech body.
Yeah, it's like, no, he is... we gotta emphasize that, like, it almost feels cruel what they're doing to him. Like, he's a brain.
They being who?
Whoever the fuck decided to save his life.
Yeah, really.
Okay.
Like,
I assume Julian Bashir.
Yeah, like, he can just sit there and have a chair breathe for him, and he can stare, and he can beep.
And he can feel lots of pain.
Yeah, like, can he even say whether or not he wants to be alive right now?
Well, he could...
Will they listen to
Pike,
him?
do you want to be alive?
Beep.
You know, it's...
double guilty.
That's a great joke.
I'm trying to...
like, it never seemed good, but they've made it seem even worse now. Which is fair.
Yeah, and also, like, if these are the stakes for him getting the time crystal, then those feel like some stakes.
Yes. Yeah, it also leads to, again, we've talked about this before here and there, but, like, Star Trek, as time has gone on, has seemed to lean increasingly, even again in the old series, to, like, the idea of either a sentient or conscious universe that has a plan or a timeline,
right?
Or yeah, like the fact that it can sort of be like, you can have this, but it's going to set your path. Like the idea that, you know, like, is it actually the universe, or is it just like some sort of capricious being that, as we discussed ages back, like, you know, an alien that's just so powerful that, like, what is the difference between it and a god?
Well, evidently, Chris, it's Klingons, because they're the ones that have these fucking things, which I think is so idiotic.
Well, so you can't use the time crystals without the right technology, which the Klingons seem to not have. The time crystals are basically just good at showing you your death.
Are basically just good as parlor tricks.
There was one line, I think Laurel may have said it or something, that like, oh yeah, we used to play with these things all the time, but we fucked up a lot. Like, the ramifications are dire if you don't do them correctly, and we stopped playing with them.
That's why their appearance keeps changing.
Fucking ugh.
Look, that's terrible. And again, as I've said before, we didn't need an explanation. But honestly, if that was the explanation, I would take that over what Enterprise gave us.
I don't know.
I just think them having time crystals in the first place is so out of character.
I think the idea of
really
time crystals
right.
is fucking stupid.
Tell me more,
it
Jake.
I don't know.
It's magic.
Yeah, these like little...
Yes, exactly.
It's like, magic crystals.
You were okay with the Bajoran Orb of Prophecy.
Yeah,
and
but those were...
Bajoran Orb
those
of
were
time travel.
Yeah, well, no, I wasn't. I thought the Orb of Time
Yeah,
was
I think
fucking
you did.
stupid.
Yeah.
But the orbs in general are just like these weird alien artifacts.
Okay, the orb of time then, which is kind of the equivalent-ish to these.
I've said this before. I think the orb of time is fucking stupid.
Besides, they wouldn't have an orb of time. They don't have time like we do. They
That's
would
a
never
good point.
have that. That's not a thing.
Yeah, they don't
exist in
understand
all
linearity.
things.
It was just a plot device to do that fucking episode.
Which episode is that? The one where Kira
Trials
goes
and Tribulations.
Oh, Trials and Tribulations.
Oh,
right.
actually, yeah, she also then uses it to visit her mom. You're right.
Which is idiotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That
then it
Kira-
turns out
fucking
she's
Kira
not
elaborating
really
more.
visiting her mom. It's more like a hallucination.
Which would make more sense for how the other orbs work.
Yeah, and maybe that's actually how the orb of time works, and
Maybe.
Orb of Time just feels like a Doctor Who serial from the 70s. Like,
It
it doesn't fit
well, so
Star
does time
Trek.
crystals.
Yeah, totally, exactly, for sure.
Well, and it's like, I think we talked about it on air at least once. There is a concept in science called the time crystal, but it has nothing to do with time travel.
Yeah, no.
I barely understood it, but it's not that.
It is not what that is.
No.
Time crystal meth.
That's a good way to make a weekend disappear.
Yeah. Just you put it in. You just freebase these crystals, and you'll be having.
Before you know it, your whole life is fucked.
Your face will melt off, Pike.
Not to mention your teeth. No, that's crack.
I think meth people lose their teeth.
They
too.
do.
Good. You will know the mentat for the red stain on his lips.
I guess, in a way, like,
His
it's
lack of teeth.
It's dumb that they exist, and, like, presumably they also can appear in other parts of the universe. Maybe? But I guess it does sort of track that if the Klingons had them, they wouldn't know what to do with them, so would just be like, we're just gonna build a shrine and stand there. Like, if the Romulans had time crystals, they would have unraveled the universe within 15 seconds.
Also, I had a real problem. Speaking of the shrine, I had a real problem with the design of the monastery and the
Right?
shrine because
Really?
first of all, like
Pretty.
it just looked like an Earth-based church.
That was-
there was
yeah.
nothing. There was nothing Klingon-y about it.
There were crosses. Like, this was clearly a set from some sort of medieval show.
Yeah. And then, here's another thing, right? So, to get to the time crystal chamber, they have to cross the chasm of Khazad-dûm.
And the Shrine of the Silver Monkey.
I was trying to work in the shrine, and all I could think was, man, if they had just put it in the Shrine of the Silver Monkey, nobody'd ever be getting in there.
So, they have to cross this fucking stupid bridge, and there's two... Oh, you must use the pillar of the past and the pillar of the present, and then
The chalice of a shepherd.
they're in this bottomless pit, crossing this ridiculous bridge made of magic.
Here's why all this tracks, though. It's easy to forget, but, like, the Klingons do love a bit of drama.
But
They have
they do, but
opera
the
and
production,
shit.
and like that part would make sense if the rest of the production design.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? So these big scary doors open, and you see the time crystal chamber, and then they go into the time crystal chamber, and they're just in another room in the church with windows.
Well, I think it was basically...
There's like literal
Gone in
windows.
through a window.
Yeah, why did we cross the scary bridge? Why didn't we just break a window
Well,
and
it looked
climb
to be
in?
like the same.
No, it's a time window.
I think the idea was like it was the same room, but it had the like spire. Like I think it was supposed to be sort of some sort of weird temporal duplicate thing because it looked to be the same set, just with the like rocks with the crystals
it
in.
definitely was, but I don't think they were. I just think they were fucking lazy and didn't
Or that.
have a proper.
Yeah, I don't
set
think it
built.
was intentional. I think they were trying to make this impressive journey thing that I didn't follow. Put the fucking dagger in the time pedestal was.
That was all for show. That
Okay.
I think the Klingons just made up because they like a bit of drama.
What if it was a holosuite or a holodeck and they actually didn't go anywhere? It's just to make it more...
And we do know Klingons have holodeck technology because they got it from those aliens in Enterprise.
Oh, see? There you go.
Yeah. Trip's friend.
As a side note, I feel like, speaking of how the Klingons love drama, they're like, well, sure, you've seen Days of Our Lives, but you've never really seen Days of Our Lives until you've seen it in the original Klingon. You know?
Oh my god, Klingon soaps must be amazing.
Not in this universe.
No,
Because
and here Klingon soaps are fucking boring.
No, one's written by Klingons. This is humans writing Klingon soap opera. We're bad at it. Like, their soaps are so violent.
Yeah, well, I would agree that in the time of Martok and Gowron, yes, but in the time of L'Rell and Tanavik, it's fucking boring shit.
Yeah, it's more like, the fuck is it? It's like Cardassian whatever tales, where it's like...
Enigma Tales.
Enigma Tales, where it's just like 6 generations of them doing the same shit.
Yeah. No, that was...
But that's pretty much a soap opera.
The Enigma Tales are the ones that have the, like, you already know the conclusion. But yeah, there was the family life story ones. I think those had a different title.
Oh, might be. Yeah, Enigma Tales where they're Columbo.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, getting back to the soapy nature of this.
Mm-hmm.
We meet Tanavik, and holy shit, guys, he's Ash and Laurel's son grown up because he's been around the time crystals.
And to explain this, they show us a terrible CG tree growing.
Yeah, a tree growing in 5 seconds.
The future, the past, and the present are all the same here.
So how long have I been here? 17 years.
Son of a bitch!
The war is over.
He actually turns back.
The spirits have done it in 2 decades. What the fuck?
What is this from?
I was just
Ebenezer Scrooge.
the spirits have done it in one night.
Oh, okay.
He turns back into Jeffrey Hunter for a second.
So here's my question.
All right.
Why is it at all significant that this is Ash and Laurel's kid?
It's just tying up a loose end, I think.
Yeah.
No,
He didn't need to be there any more than What's-His-Nuts needed to be on the Section 31 ship.
Gant?
Yeah, it could have been
A different
some
Klingon.
guy. It could have been some Klingon.
Well,
really-
you could argue that having it be Gant would kind of cloud Michael's judgment a little bit. Like, maybe you could make an argument for the fact that if she hadn't been, like, emotionally compromised by being happy to see her old crewmate, she might have caught on quicker.
Maybe.
Well, but yeah.
But there's definitely...
Certainly less likely to trust with no real reason, you know?
Yeah. But definitely didn't need to be Tanavik or whatever.
No.
I just think it's a mistake to have reintroduced the Klingon plot.
Yeah, it was done. It had petered out, sadly.
Yeah.
And now we've just brought it back for it to peter out again.
And, like, to bring back Laurel in this episode...
Even though I do like Laurel as a person,
yeah.
as a character.
But, like, to then not really do much with her...
Mm-hmm.
And
nice dress, though.
Like,
they
don't do anything
great.
with her and Tyler, really. They don't do anything with her and Tyler and Burnham, which is
it's more substantial
drama.
that they don't do anything. Like,
Yeah.
they can't be the ones to go down there. Okay, so they're not... So they're
Yeah,
not
so
gonna
why
do
are they
anything.
here?
She could have called on the phone.
What about Giorgio? Right?
She's off doing stuff.
She's off finding Leland.
Is she? When?
They mentioned yeah. How did they already build the D7, by the way?
How the fuck would I know?
Because, like, at the beginning of this season, which was, like, a couple weeks ago in
Time
universe,
crystals, Chris. Time crystals.
She's like, look, it's our new ship, and now she's already got one. It's like, hold on.
She actually was gifted one from Qatar.
Yeah.
Topical.
Yeah, it just seems like a waste of a plot.
I don't know. Everything in the monastery, like, I thought was stupid.
Yeah, it was not necessary.
Yeah.
And again, I was really distracted by the terrible nature of the CG on his mouth, on the Chris Pike mouth, or chair Pike, when he, like, went to scream at the end. It was really bad.
But it's, we do get to see the actual accident.
True.
And it's very, the radiation had the high ground.
Oh, no.
Aside from it...
Pike was the chosen one.
It's over, Anakin.
Aside from it not being necessary to have been their kid, like, I didn't mind the monastery stuff. Again, it doesn't super make sense that it's the Klingons, but we're stuck with that, so...
See, I was just so thrown off by it's his kid. And then Pike goes back to Ash and Laurel and just talks around it for no fucking reason. Like, oh, I saw your son. His name is Tanavik, by the way. Wait, you talked to our son?
He says hi.
He says goo, 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 because you think he's fucking 6 months old. God damn it.
You know what it is? Pike leaves, and then Tanavik there pushes a button and his little holographic mask goes away, and then someone walks in with the actual baby. He's like, he fucking believed it!
Yeah.
And they all have a laugh.
Yeah, really, it's just that it feels like such an unnecessary, like, dropped ball.
Yeah.
To have, like, it's not important at all that it's Tanavik.
Nope.
No.
Nope. No one cared about that except the writers. And
it's just
They're
another one of
patting
those...
themselves on the back.
Yeah.
It's just more of, like, the Star Wars illness where, like, everyone has to be related, the most important family has to be Skywalkers, and that's just it, you know?
Yeah, which again I think is part of the reason why I was annoyed that they reintroduce, apparently, this guy. It's like, it could have just been a random Section 31 person.
Gant?
Yeah.
Gant.
Poor
Refuse
Gant.
to say his name.
I just keep forgetting
Well,
it.
okay,
Stamets.
so let's talk about Gant. Well, first off, it's fucking stupid. Second off, it's really fucking stupid.
Oh, damn.
No.
Here's
something that we learned, right? So we were theorizing last week, like, what exactly is Baldy now? And now the answer...
Who's Baldy? Leland?
Leland. Yeah. And now the answer is clear that he is just a corpse.
He is a piñata full of nanites.
Because that's what Gant was.
That's very good.
And, like, when the nanites left, they can form a ball of monster. They can form a little...
No. He's more like Oogie Boogie full of bugs.
Oh, fuck.
He's a rat king.
They can conform themselves into a squid monster as computer systems.
He's the rat king from Sailor Moon. Sorry, that's just for Chris. Yes.
Cool.
Caitlin broke him.
We don't get the reference.
Yeah, it's cool. You can cut it. I'm sorry. This is what I was hoping for, to be honest with you.
I don't like it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, God.
But yeah, anywho, so that's fucking gross and terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that honestly is fun.
Wouldn't you think they'd have noticed the smell or something?
I mean,
no way Leland smelled good.
Maybe the nanites can keep him fresh.
Yeah, it's keeping it tight. It tidies up. Some nanites just they're scrubbing dirt off.
Also,
little Moe's from WALL-E.
Yeah.
Gant was frozen in space probably, so he was preserved, but
he was in a suit. He wasn't frozen.
Yeah. Oh well, he was still chilled.
He was shaken, not stirred.
Yeah. Gant is a dish best served cold.
Hey, delicious.
But Leland has to be going around like an Edgar suit at this point.
There's so many great metaphors for this.
Yeah.
Sugar. Wow. Is Men in Black on our list of things to do one of these days?
Holy shit, we should. That's a great movie. And fucking A, we watched Independence Day, for Christ's sakes, which was fine. I'm not,
But we liked Independence Day.
Yeah, it was fine. I liked it. I'm just saying.
Men in Black's definitely more fun, though.
I was bringing it back.
Fun.
I was trying to suggest that I wasn't as angry as I sounded about it. I was actually glad to have finally seen Independence Day.
No, they're both good. Don't get me wrong, but I think I definitely prefer Men in Black.
I don't know if I do.
I don't know. I like Men in Black.
They're different movies, though. It's like
it's
like comparing Alien and Aliens.
Comedy. Yeah, and Vinny D is good.
Apples and crab apples.
He was the only good part of Daredevil.
Jeff Goldblum was fucking hot in it.
You know what it should have been? If it had to be someone, again, it shouldn't have been anyone.
About what, the time crystals?
No, Gant.
Oh, Gant.
It should have been Connor.
But we know he died.
Well, right, Connor? But so what it could have been was that the nanites took a corpse and just made it look like him, and she could have been
But then Michael would know right away.
Well, no, she'd be like, but you just, I was beamed to safety.
No, he was not. She knows he's dead.
She'd have believed him.
Connor is the one that when Michael was in the brig in...
Oh, yeah, no, he's super dead.
Yeah,
and she
got
knows
spaced. He's super dead.
And then she had to kill his mirror counterpart.
It's like in... Have you all seen Misery?
No.
Not in years.
Oh, okay, never mind. We'll skip it.
Yeah, I mean, again, it just should have just been some guy. It didn't need to be Gant. We don't know Gant. I, again, assumed they just filmed that clip and just inserted a picture of Sonequa Martin Green from I didn't realize he was really there.
He was actually in those episodes.
Yeah,
I don't think he had any... If he had lines, I'd be so fucking surprised.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason why it had to be. Like, I do get the Michael would recognize and thus trust him more. But, like, how does Control know any of this? And this is my other...
Control knows everything about everything.
Massive problem with this episode is that Control basically says, we needed Michael specifically, the most important character in the universe, and it makes no sense why they'd think, oh, if we wreck a Section 31 ship, Michael specifically, and only Michael... will come and check it out.
Control ran all the
I don't know,
simulations.
she can't help herself, to be honest.
Why?
Like, she would have got there eventually, because she just fucking can't help herself.
Why not Ash? Why fucking not? At least he should go with her, because he's Section 31, and this is a Section 31 ship.
It's really important for him to have a co-parenting conversation with Laurel at this crucial moment.
They really wanted to... I've noticed that as time has gone on...
Should we enroll him in Boy Scouts?
At least give him the option.
Oh.
I bet Klingon Scouts are hardcore, though. Must be crazy.
20 knots to tie out of the spleen of your enemies.
Why Michael is the most important character in the universe?
No, it was really... Oh, that's what... I was just going to say, like, it had to be Spock because they're gradually unzipping his shirt, I noticed.
Oh.
Like, this week he was showing off some chest hair and clavicle of his chest. They're just like, we're going to run with sexy Spock more. And we're like, by the end of the season, he's going to just be in his underwear.
I think it had to be Spock, because otherwise his character had nothing to do this
That too.
episode.
Yeah.
Because also, I mean, granted, I do like the sibling thing going on. Like, that's actually becoming really nice.
Yeah.
It just doesn't have any, like, solid reason why the writers are doing these things.
It also doesn't make sense that, like, okay, we're going to go check out this Section 31 ship.
Mm-hmm.
What, like, and Saru sucks at command. Because he's like, okay, Michael, go by yourself.
I mean, that's a Star Trek classic.
No, it ain't. You send 3. You send a away team.
Yeah, we said in Melora, in Deep Space Nine, that you never send someone alone.
Bro, because they keep sending people alone. Like, remember the time Picard decided, like, he didn't want to admit he had a bum ticker? So him and a teenager took a shuttle to a hospital? Like, yeah, all right, that one, nothing went wrong, but it could have.
Yeah, but that's different. Like, that's going to the hospital is different than going to a potentially dangerous situation. Now,
yeah, but
it happened to be that, you know...
I'm just saying, sending fewer people than you should, sending more important people than you should,
I was just gonna say,
is a Star Trek tradition.
Which is worse, though? Which do you think is worse? Sending, like, half or the entire command crew, or just sending one person?
Don't let the captain go anywhere on his own. And, again, in this case...
she's not a captain.
Well, no, but in this case, yeah, I was talking about Picard still, sorry.
I know,
but with this, it's like, yeah, don't...
And he didn't hear Wesley.
A teenager.
Who couldn't even get into Starfleet.
Yeah. I don't know. It just it doesn't strike me as that out of character for Star Trek. Is it dumb? Yes. Do they do it all the time? Yes.
It seems out of character for Saru, and I know that they kind of like pass by it really quickly by being like, it seems like since my ganglia fell out, I'm no longer capable of making good decisions.
Yeah, he's going through puberty.
And Michael was like, thank God, you know? Because, damn.
Now I can take advantage of it.
Like, yeah, they could try harder to establish why, but again, I don't think it's something that's unique to this Star Trek.
Why which thing? Why send her alone, or why send her at all?
Both.
They sent Burnham because she's the main character of the show.
Yeah.
Oh, they being the writers now, and not they being Saru.
Yeah, no. Saru is just... Yeah. I mean, they could have sent her with Barzan.
Oh, no.
She definitely, yeah. Like, if you want to send Spock, fine, but also, yeah, maybe send Non.
Like, you send an armed party to investigate this potentially hostile ship.
I mean, what you should do, too, and again, this is, because television, but, like, the minute you get there, you see that the ship is just floating and the crew is dead. You're like, okay, Control has fucked with us. We are leaving because we know it's easy for Control to infect shit. So let's not go on to the probably Control-infected ship.
Here's the related question-ish that I thought in some of the first scenes when it's like, oh, Discovery has the Control data, which means we shouldn't be the ones going and looking for things. Because if we come across Control, they'll take the rest of the Control data, or the sphere data.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the idea.
Even though it's unclear what Control has now, because Control had some data, but now it sounds like they don't have any data. That's really fucking unclear.
It figured out it just has, like, thousands of cookbooks from across the galaxy.
Delicious.
But what's really nebulous to me is what anyone else in Starfleet is doing, if anything.
Nothing. It's only Discovery. Everyone else is like, yeah, it's not a big deal.
Like
there isn't that much of everyone else, right? Because most of their shit get wiped out. I feel like we always kind of forget this.
There's
other ships. There's Enterprise.
There's
and apparently they're able to build one from scratch in like a week. So
there's Enterprise, Discovery, couple of other ships. All the other Constitution classes are still on their deep space missions.
Well, apparently, Section 31 has time to build dozens of ships.
That's true. They've got a whole
Well,
I noticed, by the way...
Don't they also have some control of time, so...
No, not that we know of.
Not yet, huh?
One thing that I noticed...
Don't they eventually? Doesn't what's-his-ass in fucking DS9 do some timey shit?
No.
Oh, what the fuck?
Sloan?
Yeah,
No.
Sloan, that's the one.
No.
DS9 Leland.
The thing that annoyed me is I think they actually have 31 ships. Because they mentioned at some point that there are 30 ships somewhere, like, that's almost their whole fleet! And I'm like, oh, you fuckers.
Never.
Are you
there can be
fucking
only
kidding me?
31. A master and 30 apprentices.
That's not even necessary. It's not necessary. We
I
don't
don't
have to know why it's called Section 31. It's like Mambo number 5.
Oh, I get it now. 31 ships.
We don't need
That's
to know what
fucking
came
dumb.
before Mambo number
There's
5.
as many ships as there are flavors at Baskin Robbins.
I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's what it seemed like.
What if all the ships were actually named after Baskin Robbins flavors?
That'd be
Ooh.
That's why they don't admit what the names are to anyone
Rocky
else.
Road.
This is the
mint chocolate chip.
This is the rum ripple to the banana cream.
Cotton candy surprise checking in.
This is vanilla.
Knows.
Go ahead, cookies and cream. I think you're so fucking superior.
Thank
you.
And Jet Reno shows up just long enough to be shitty at Stamets.
Oh, and Culber.
And Culber. Just being a shitty person in general.
I liked the scene between her and Culber, though.
Well,
that's a good scene.
Just get over it already. I thought we were past this.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty. But then the thing is, though, is like then I think she tells us about how her wife died, so she kind of is maybe feels justified because she's been there, sort of. But it's not exactly the same thing.
Don't quit your day job, Jet. You're not cut out for this therapy shit.
What is her day job? Because we haven't seen her in 7 weeks.
Engineer.
Yeah, sure she is.
What I find
what is she really doing?
What I find funny though is like I feel like her Stamets approach was based on that feels like something he might do because he's bad at people, and then with Culber she's kinder. It's like
yeah, that's true because that works.
I think she realized she just is too annoyed by Stamets to approach him nicely, so she tried with Culber and it went much better.
Yeah, but I also think that Stamets kind of wouldn't react well to kindness.
True, yeah.
Like
that might have been the best way to approach
That's
him.
what I mean, yeah. Like I think Tig Notaro knows what she's about.
Yeah.
Also, I've just decided she's in fact the chief snark engineer.
Yeah, I just thought the scene between her and Culber, when the two of them kind of bond over having very annoying spouses, especially when they were talking about wedding planning, which is very because people can relate to having fucking overbearing people in their lives, and I thought that was a really good scene. And then like the added layer that we get of Jet, that she had a lost wife, a dead wife, specifically from the Klingon War, right? Yeah, that's an interesting layer. Like why? Like it could be also why she hides behind Snark so much.
Yeah, I can't remember now. Like, is this the first time it came up in the show? I thought it'd come up earlier, but I also might have just the fact that she has that she's a widow.
Yes.
Okay, I could have sworn it had come up earlier, but I think I was just remembering.
I think you were just assuming that if there's a gay character, then they're gonna not be in a happy relationship, because that seems to be the rule that they've set about in this show.
Who's in a happy relationship in this show, Jake?
Laurel and Tyler, obviously.
Heckin' yikes!
Yeah, they're very happy, not with each other at all.
I mean, if the fandom is anything to go by, Detmer and Owo.
There you go.
They go by the fan.
They get shipped a lot.
Into that.
God,
why would they ship them? Just because they sit next to each other on the bridge? Oh, they must be fucking!
Have you met the internet?
Yeah, that's true. Fuck the internet.
Also, because this is like the gayest Star Trek, so
it's the only.
It's
the only Star Trek with gays.
The rules are. I'm just saying the rules are out the window now. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Chekhov and Sulu definitely would have been fucking if that show was made now.
No, well, yeah. I mean, I guess the very first slash fiction was Spock Kirk, right?
Like, true.
I mean, people say
they
that,
didn't even
but
sit next to each other.
There was definitely there weren't zines back in the day, but I'm sure people were writing Sherlock and Watson fucking from day one.
Especially because there was less to do back then. Like writing a little titillating story about how Sherlock shows Watson some ankle, that would have been like the hottest shit going back then.
Yeah, but
well, actually,
it's either this or dying of dysentery.
In olden times, a glimpse of stalking was looked on as something shocking, but now, Lord knows, anything goes.
Okay, the one happy relationship, maybe. He's not a good father, and he's not always the best husband, but Amanda and Sarek do seem to love each other.
Yeah, weirdos.
And some weird shit, those Vulcans.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's mostly just Sarek. He's got to be a freak, that there's got to be some deviancy.
There was another weird line. Who says this? Is it... I think Stamets says... No, me doing it. Ugh. I think Stamets says this to Jet when she plops down in the mess hall and she's being bratty. Mm-hmm. And he says, eat your protein.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's like, she's just got like a taco or something. Why would you call it that?
Yeah, it was
weird. They meant to go back and fix that line. They just
they didn't know what the prop for the food was going to be
yet.
They're
supposed to have like food cubes or something.
That would have been good. Not enough food cubes.
Eat your protein.
Yeah, well, because I know, like, because wasn't
if you don't eat your protein, you can't have any pudding. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your protein?
I love it.
I don't know, that felt forced, just because...
Yeah, was it, like, supposed to be a roundabout reference to the protein resequencers? Like, I don't
Is
get
that what
it.
they just call their meals in the future? No, because they call them anything else, like, all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe...
In that you order something from the replicator, and then it insults you because it's an asshole. Fucking
Are you
replicator.
sure you
Wouldn't
need
you
all
rather
of that
have
chocolate
protein
fatso?
supplement number 14?
Fucking douchebag replicator.
Are you trying to bulk up, bitch?
A couple other little things.
Mm-hmm.
And here's another thing that maybe from last week I started thinking about too much, which is my fault. If the answer was throw the Red Angel suit into the future full of the sphere data.
Yeah.
But we know from a previous episode that when we threw a probe into the future, it just came back with Control in it.
Well,
because Control is also in the future.
Well, okay. I'll tell you.
Help.
Okay, so here's
Help
the deal.
my brain.
The reason that when they threw the probe into the future, it came back all controlled up was because Control has had hundreds of years to evolve.
Because it got the
sphere data. So what we're saying is we're going to put the sphere data in the future out of the reach of present-day Control, which will mean that present-day Control will never evolve
So we'll never have gotten that drone in the first place.
Yeah, there's a lot of grandfather paradox going on here. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing from Back to the Future 2, where they couldn't just go to 2015 and stop Marty from buying the book, because they would have gone into the 2015 created by this fractured timeline.
Yikes. Yeah, it's a little like, Future Tense is the one where we meet Braxton for the first time and he's a homeless man.
Yeah, kind of like that.
But then they undo that somehow, but then they still have the mobile emitter, even though that was from that timeline.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of... this is why I said last week or 2 weeks ago, like, there are ways to make time travel work. Bill and Ted does a great job with time travel because everything remains consistent. And if you can't have it both ways, where things have to be consistent, like Pike knows he's going to have a melty face, but also they can unwrite each other, like Red Angel suit going to the future undoes Control existing in the first place. Fucking flip every table in the house.
Like, that's the tricky part, is like, when you've got sort of a single film or a single series that's controlled by the same writers the whole time, you can have sort of consistent internal rules. Star Trek, unfortunately, has been multiple series over multiple decades, written by multiple teams and people, so that, like, the rules of time travel are inconsistent and ever-shifting.
Have you ever seen the series 12 Monkeys?
No, I still haven't even seen the movie, to be honest, somehow.
It's quite good, but the more you think about it, the more it absolutely breaks every one of these rules every other episode. But it is quite good.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I've never heard of this.
Broke my brain so many fucking times.
It's good. The movie and the show are totally different. They're both good in their own way, but like the movie is a Terry Gilliam.
Yeah, and the show is Terry Matalas?
Terry Matalas.
Really?
Didn't Terry Gilliam do something else that we like?
Brazil?
No, I haven't seen
Brazil,
that.
He was one of the Monty Python guys. He was the animator.
Yeah, but didn't he... I feel like there's something that... I don't know. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
It's not important.
He's good, and the movie's really good. But yeah, and Terry Matalas is the show. So it's got all of his people that show up in Picard also are in the show.
Oh, I think we talked about that at one point. Isn't
Todd Stashwick.
is in it.
Okay, yeah. He's very good in it.
He's good.
Who's that?
He plays the same character.
He plays Shaw in...
Oh, I love Shaw. He was so great.
Yeah.
I can't stand Shaw, but okay.
No, I mean, I hate him, but I loved him at the end. And I love to hate him.
I have thoughts on Shaw that we will discuss when we get to Picard Season 3.
Great. Watch 12 Monkeys. Let me know what you what you follow, because my other issue with 12 Monkeys, and I think I made a post about this once, is there are 3 different brunette women characters that I thought the whole show long was the same person. And they were fucking not.
Damn.
I'm so fucking face blind. I cannot watch shows.
I know for me,
I struggle with that too.
Whenever, like, time travel comes up in anything, because my sort of first major experience was Back to the Future, my base is Back to the Future rules, and then, alright, how does this deviate from those when I try to figure out what the internal rules are for other people's time travel?
Discussed, even Back to the Future is inconsistent.
A little bit, yeah. But yeah, it's that I imagine a lot of people like that. They have their own, what they assume the rules are, and then, all right, how does this one deviate from what I have decided the rules of time travel are based upon whatever I was first exposed to?
Is this bootstrap, or is this new timeline, or what is this?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, again, the big problem with Star Trek is the rules change because it's been 60 years and 1,000 different people and shows and things. I mean, they haven't even figured out the... all these time crystal people, the minute Kirk came back, was like, hey, turns out you just slingshot around a sun, and they're like, that is so much fucking easier. Shit!
Is it?
Yes!
They could retcon... This is totally unrelated to anything you were talking about, because I just had this weird thought. I was like...
Time travel.
Now that we have Section 31 as like just a thing in that's always doing sketchy shit, they could retcon that Miri Planet was an experiment done by Section 31 to see if they could use like mind control on planet Earth. So they created a duplicate Earth and then exposed it to this pathogen that turned out to wipe everybody.
Miri's the one with all those fucking kids, right?
Yeah, but the stupidest thing, even stupider than the stupid kids, is the fact that it's on a duplicate Earth.
Yeah.
And it's brought up for like the first scene, like, oh, it's a duplicate Earth. Never brought up again.
Like...
They were hoping you wouldn't notice, but also if you had questions, they were hoping you would notice.
Anyway, that was apropos of nothing.
Yeah, I have two more notes. One is stupid and one is just a factoid. Here's the stupid note. I think they picked a really bad sound effect for the phasers because when Michael is shooting at the control matter nanite shit over and over and over again, and you're hearing it over and over and over again. It ended up sounding like a fucking video game noise. Like it literally was pew 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 pew, like for a minute straight.
Reload.
I just don't know why we can't have the old-fashioned beam phasers. Like shoot him with that, and then you can have a thing where like at first he's kind of knocked back by it, and like as he keeps walking, and it's like, it's just fucking scary.
Boring through him.
He just keeps marching towards you as like the hole in his chest grows bigger and bigger, and he's just like, I can't stop this. Like that would be way cooler than just shooting him a bunch of times
with a bad sound effect.
Pew, pew.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't notice sound effects until you guys pointed out to me.
That's weird because you notice like scores and shit that I never noticed.
Chris is more tuned into the music.
I get hung up on music and uniform details somehow.
Yeah, all aesthetic in general. Ships.
What'd you think of Pike's little away jacket? That was pretty nice.
With the fuzzy trim?
Yeah, I do like it. I was thinking actually about the fact that we get away jackets a lot more frequently in Strange New Worlds as well, and
I was trying to place, because when we see him in wherever it is that he gets the Delta radiation, he's wearing a different uniform. And then when we see him at the end confront his BP share self, he's in another uniform, none of which seem to associate with anything I've seen before.
Those, actually, I thought it kind of all things, looked sort of like the Kelvin dress uniforms.
Yeah,
which was weird.
The uniform he had in the obvious redress of Discovery Engineering.
Yes.
Had like these like weird epaulets with like
little crescents,
little like pips on them.
Which again, I think they had the crescents on the Kelvin dress uniforms. I think that's...
Were they trying to go for more like a Twalkie look? Maybe? What were they going for?
I don't really know. They just decided training vessels have bespoke uniforms, they decided.
But he's still a captain because they say captain. So I was like, oh, maybe he's been promoted. Maybe he's a Commodore or
maybe something. I mean, they never did. Like, he was Commodore Pike in the episode originally, but they didn't say he'd been a Commodore during the accident specifically.
I'm going to say that he was. So there's also that old naval tradition that whoever is in command of the ship is referred to as captain.
True.
So it could be that he was a Commodore, and that's why he has the goofy uniform.
Yeah, because they wouldn't have promoted him after the accident.
Yeah. I say, what a shame. He's like, sorry, Chris, you're a Commodore now? Beep.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what he really needs. He needs a tone of beep that is not just a beep. It's like a fuck off beep. He's beep, 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 beep.
You know, like when you hit the wrong color on Simon, and it's like...
Wrong.
They actually give him a Simon instead of his chair.
Please use the beeps.
Beep, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep, boop.
My other final note is that Kenneth Mitchell, who plays Tanavik, That guy is our normal Klingon guest, because we've already seen him play both Cole and Cole's father, Cole Shaw.
Wow.
Oh.
Huh.
Cool.
He's always around, this guy.
Does he show up more? Because the name's familiar.
Kenneth Mitchell? Oh, I don't remember. I would have to look it up, and I'm not going to.
You thinking of Kel Mitchell from all that?
Kel Mitchell?
You, Jesus Christ, I might.
And Mystery Men?
Actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess, like, I honestly, again, was, aside from it didn't have to be their kid and it didn't have to be Gant, I didn't mind this one. And but I'm also a sucker for melodrama, so.
You are part Klingon.
I think Gant is fine, but, like, I'm just not Control as a villain. It just doesn't really compare to some of the past villains we've had in other Star Trek series, so.
Wow.
That would be a great segue if not for the fact that because it's Enterprise, none of the villains are that good.
I beg to differ.
I think the ones I picked are great.
I don't know. I made it to 3 villains that I liked, because where you said weighing into our what are the best villains from Enterprise, and couldn't think of any others that weren't shit.
There just aren't very many that are memorable.
I think it's just that there are so many that when I hit them, like, okay, here's a villain. No, I hate that villain. Oh, here's a villain. No, I hate that villain.
All the ones that I chose are great and memorable.
Well, let's be the judge of that.
You go first then.
Number 1, Daniels.
Nope.
Yup.
Terrible villain.
Yeah, you're right, but it's only gonna get worse.
Why are you picking terrible villains?
Number 2, Phlox.
What the actual fuck is wrong with Caitlin?
Genocide.
He is a villain.
Number 3, Jonathan Archer.
I don't think Caitlin understood the assignment this week.
Caitlin did understand the assignment. Caitlin thinks that Enterprise didn't understand the assignment, and then by making fucking genocidal war criminals the fucking heroes of a show, that they gave the villains their own fucking hero story.
Wait,
Terrible.
So wait, who you're saying then? Your villain?
Daniels, Phlox, and Jonathan Archer.
Okay.
So don't fucking
So
copy
these
my
are
list,
these
Jake.
are Caitlin's favorite villains from Enterprise.
I love hating them. What can I say?
I'll go next.
Ames doesn't seem impressed.
I'm not impressed.
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry.
Again,
It's not good.
I don't know. I didn't use Silic again because
Shocking.
I used him last week as a just memorable character. But there's still some good ones out there. She's a fun little one-off. Tara, Susie Plaxton's Andorian.
She's awesome.
A villain?
Yeah, remember she was
She's
like
pretty
trying.
adamantly
Oh, I
against
was.
the
Yeah, that's the thing.
Pinkskins.
I was on her side. So.
Well, she was against John, so.
She was against John and Soval, so yes. But she is trying to, keep war going, which is actually bad,
She
let's be
loves
honest.
war.
This one actually becomes friend, but Degra does start as a bad guy.
Yeah.
And it is kind of fascinating that in this season that was devoted to justifying American atrocities after 9/11, they actually had him, be sympathetic, grow and change, and by the end is an ally. It's like the one thing that vile season did right.
I'll give you a real list at the end, Ames.
You don't have to.
I'm gonna.
This is worth. It is worth shitting on these guys.
And the Visians.
Remind me.
Cogenitor. That's the species.
Yeah. Well, we're doing the alien races next week, Chris.
Well, they're terrible people.
Okay, pick a Visian.
The main guy.
What's the name of the couple? Those two assholes.
Ah.
The couple from the Cogenitor.
Oh, those people.
They're
did they have names?
I'm sure they did.
One of them. I think the woman did and the guy didn't.
Yeah, they're a terrible culture. They're super advanced scientists, so obviously they know Cogenitors could be allowed to just be people, but then that would fuck up their whole scheme. Fuck them, they're awful, I hate them.
All right, what's your thought on their captain guy who befriended Archer going and looking at a star?
Oh, I mean,
shit.
douchebag, because he's all about his terrible culture.
But he's a nice guy. He showed Archer you were going to help him out.
He's still part of this oppressive regime.
Fair.
All right, you want to go or should I go, Jake?
I guess I can go. All right. I had duplicates, so I'm going to say some of my other ones. So I'm going to go with Colonel Grat, who was the concentration camp commander, played by Dean Stockwell. Who
was really racist against Silic's people.
He really hated
Sulevans.
the Suliban, but he was also stupid and grilling Archer on shit that he obviously would know nothing about.
He was a dumb man.
He was not very smart, and he was an asshole. So fuck that guy.
But it was Dean Stockwell.
But it was Dean Stockwell, so
I
I enjoyed watching him. Speaking of people that were not great villains, but elevated by the actor, Arik Soong.
Yay!
Because again, I didn't love that plot line, but I loved watching Brent Spiner do his thing. So I liked Arik Soong.
Yeah, he somehow didn't even occur to me. I think the Soongs are like their own category of character at this point.
So now it's kind of down to a coin flip for the last one. And one of them doesn't... I don't think... If they were named, I don't remember their individual names. And one of them, I do have a name. Maybe I'll make that an honorable mention if No Ames doesn't say it. So I'm going to go with the Eska Hunters.
Oh.
I don't know the names of the people.
I think they do have names, but I think they were named things that we didn't know which one was named what.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But those were the guys that were hunting that creature on that
on the rogue planet.
Yeah, that's a good pun.
Wow, I didn't even think of them. Yeah, they were assholes.
They were big assholes.
They were.
Okay, I do have one overlap, but I'm going to leave it overlappy because I don't want to think of another one, because there aren't any other villains I like. And my overlappy one is Arik Soong, just because he's so delightfully villainous. Like, he's just very fun to watch be a villain. He does a good job. And also, like, you kind of understand what his motivation is, at least some of the time, which I can't say about most of our other villains.
No.
Our other villains that I wanted to name, one doesn't have a name. Actually, neither of the others have names. So maybe this is one of the ones Jake was thinking of. Repair Station from Dead Stop.
Oh,
that
good
bitch.
answer.
That didn't occur to me. That is a good one.
I like her. Because she's so different.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a different story, and I think they nail the just kind of like unknowable repair station thing. And what the fuck she's up to.
It feels like
cool.
The kind of science fiction Star Trek doesn't do often.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that, if you took that same story and just swapped in generic ship with generic crew, it would still be a story that would work on its own merits, you know? Like, whereas with some kind of Star Trek stuff, it's like, no, it needs to be Star Trek.
Yeah, because the villain is so interesting.
Yeah.
The villain of this like really unusual character, but that is a ship.
Yeah.
Or a station, which I find very cool. It's also a little bit of a coincidence that both of those characters are the ones I wrote about in my fanfic this last time, so maybe I'm a little biased, but, I still like them. And my third is just, a delightful sleaze that I brought up briefly last week, but I'm going to actually say it, and that's that Trellium Foreman from the Xindi, played by Stephen McHattie, which everybody else knows as Vreenak.
Yeah, he was a scumbag.
Yeah, just because he's so fucking hateable.
And Vreenak it's a fake guy?
Yes.
Yeah. And his design is just so gross.
He just
looks
so
ill.
icky.
Yeah. I almost went with him again. He's like a silent movie villain. He's just so transparently just like, and he didn't get
twirling his mustache.
But yeah, he's so
corrupt. Like he's such he's very believable as a villain. Like you understand, like he's doing this for himself, for profit, the capitalism of it all, and because he doesn't see value in people.
Yeah,
so good on that writing of that guy.
No, and you can just tell again, the makeup did such a good job. Like you understand that he is disintegrating inside and out, like physically, literally. Like he is not long for this world.
I had an honorable mention.
I didn't say your honorable mention, so it wasn't Trellium Foreman.
I also have some honorable mentions.
No, it was not. But mine was going to be Velas.
Yes.
Nope.
What?
Which one? Wait, which one is Velas?
He's a very naughty Vulcan.
He's Admiral Layton?
Admiral Layton.
Fucking hated that guy.
I know, I hate him too.
No, I fucking hate that character because he's terribly written.
Oh.
I
hard disagree, Jake.
Well, that's fair.
I have an honorable mention for a character who is like, depending upon who you are, he's a bad guy, but he technically might not be, and that was the freedom fighter / terrorist leader played by Mr. Krabs in the episode.
Clancy
Brown. He was just fun. Had I remembered him last week, he might have been on my list last week instead of somebody else, but again, depending on who you ask, he might be a bad guy. He might not be.
Plenty of fine people on both sides. You were kind of doing a voice.
I didn't mean to.
I know. I was going to say, in all seriousness, Tarquin
Oh,
Because he checks a bunch of my Phantom of the Opera
From
boxes.
Exile.
From Exile.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a scumbag.
And obviously the leader of the reptilian Zindi, because what a fucking dick.
Gollum? I think that's
Gollum, yeah, that's right.
That's not the one Jeffrey
And
Dean
I had
Morgan
thought
played,
of
right?
I've thought of Velas, but
Apparently
apparently
you're
we've been
wrong.
voted down.
We're
Yeah,
wrong.
that's okay. I mean, I was wrong to begin with.
Gollum is the one that was played by the same guy that played Tosk.
Right.
Oh, we love Tosk.
Yeah, Jeffrey Dean Morgan was in the time travel Detroit episode.
Bro, poor Tosk. You know.
The episode that almost kept him from being an actor. He almost quit after that because he hated the makeup so much.
After what?
His appearance in Star Trek Enterprise, Jeffrey Dean Morgan. You would know him as the father from Supernatural.
Oh.
But he's been in 1,000 things now.
Isn't he in the
Walking Dead. He's
yeah.
Negan.
Yeah.
He's a hottie.
Yeah.
Good thing he didn't quit acting.
And of course, honorable mention, because I have to by law, to my boys, the Romulans, and their convoluted plan.
I thought you were going to say Porthos for being
You're picking races, which is next week, Chris.
Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't pick the
What
Romulans.
about that guy with the mouth?
I wouldn't pick...
What?
The guy with the mouth.
Yeah, you know, the guy with the mouth.
The Romulan with the mouth.
Oh, the guy with the mouth.
The guy with the mouth. Yeah.
No, because I
What are we
wouldn't
talking
pick the
about?
Romulans, though, because, I feel like they're not intrinsic to Enterprise in a way that I think other species are. So I'm going to mention them now.
Honorable mention to Porthos for pissing on that tree.
That tree deserved it.
It's probably true, but still.
So, next week.
Well, we're coming down the final stretch of Season 2 of Star Trek Discovery.
Crazy.
And next week we will be talking about yet another episode, Such Sweet Sparrow.
Is that the two-parter?
Yes.
Are we doing both next week?
No.
We're just going to do one.
Gotcha.
Because they were aired separately.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is so this is the final two, I guess, of this season.
Yeah.
This one followed by another one.
Yep.
Where hopefully we will get some great action and adventure and thoughtful something. It'll be great.
I'm hoping to have lots of my questions answered and, have a satisfactory wrap to the season.
You sure will. In fact, the season ends with a satisfactory wrap as presented by
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
Here come in black.
Here come the control.
Gotta work on that for next week.
Well, Will Smith.
Oh my god, let's write it. Let's write a fucking rap about control to the tune of Men in Black.
You got 2 weeks.
Nice. Well, anywho, that is going to be coming up next. Until then, you can catch up on us on SoundCloud and other podcasting places, YouTube, etc. You can also read our blog at blog.
Wait, that wasn't on purpose?
You can read our blog at you can read on the blog at Tumblr. That's SSHB Podcast or SSHBpodcast.com. And you can always catch us up on Facebook as well as Blue Skies coming at you like Cleopatra.
Like Cleopatra, yeah. I made a reference to Bewitched the other week. You remember Bewitched? Not the show.
TV show?
No, not the show, the song.
I only know the show.
Did you or the band, rather. They were like an Irish group. They had a song called C'est La Vie in the 90s.
Ooh, that sounds familiar.
Oh,
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
Not as iconic as Cleopatra coming at you, in my opinion, but it was of the time.
Cool. Well, this has been Jake.
This has been Chris.
Wow, you were just going out on that. God, this has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this has been Jake.
C'est la vie, I guess.
There we go.
I mean, Phlox is just so easy to include. There's so many things you can point
He's so
to.
bad. He's horrible.
I mean,
like
you
they're
just have to
all
look
terrible.
at Dear Doctor, and you've settled it.
You know why? Actually, it's hard to include them on this list because I don't fucking like any of the three of them at all. They're not my favorite anything.